TEDx 2012 in Copenhagen, Bigger Picture was involved in implementing more or less full-scale visual support to the gathering. We created a visual agenda for every participant. We created a design where people were drawing together and sharing knowledge. We created a visual event summary of the full day, and we were also giving a talk about what visualization can do. Why does it work to draw together? Well, there are a couple of reasons, is that right? Well, seeing. We have this sense, which is the most dominant of our senses. It's how we navigate in the world. We take in a lot of information. You make a small circle, and then you make a 4-pointed star. So you just add, and then you have a person. The second thing is, if you draw a square and two lines down and a little bit of blurb in the bottom, then you have a signpost.
What was really cool about the event was that everybody got a visual agenda. So instead of having an ordinary program, everybody had their own visual agenda so they could see exactly what was going on at the event.
Yeah. And I thought something that really wowed people was that they were able to follow it, and they were talking about it, and they knew what they could expect. And they had that on a visual perspective, but then they had these slips underneath as well, which gave a lot of interaction as well.
After each session, we have collected small notes they have filled out, and then we are categorizing them into different categories. So it could be, let's say here we have love, and we have leadership, and we have engagement, something that they have talked into, and then we're putting everything into one big picture.
I think you take in the talks more easily, and it comes to mind what you've been through. A day like this is quite intense. There's a lot of information and a lot of things you have to digest, and this helps you give it an overview and brings back a lot of those small things that you might have missed if you didn't do it like this. This is fantastic. I love it.
Another cool thing was that the guys from Bigger Picture was placed in the lobby where they did the drawings, so everybody could show up and talk about one of the talks and contribute and ask questions, and that created this meeting point where people would continue the conversation.
Well, basically I'm doing a graphic recording of the entire TEDx event today, which means that I'm standing out here in the lobby listening to the talks that goes on in there in the hall. I'm watching on my TV, and then hopefully I'll be able to grab the essence, the key points of the talks, and condense them into these small bits. And eventually I'll have a full canvas measuring 6 meters, collecting the entirety of the event today.
One person says, "Forgive me," the other person says, hesitantly, "I forgive you," and I think that was the crux of my speech today.
I like my drawing, and I hope that the kids can they don't know that is my point of being a scout, that turned them into awesome adults, but in some way I hope they can sense it when they look back, at least.
Every single one of those particles.
The universe started with a big bang, and we want to find out what went on in that big bang. So we built a giant accelerator at CERN to recreate the conditions and see what particles and what laws of physics unfold in there. And well, actually seeing it illustrated here also with the sort of idea of dark matter around is, well, I love cartoons anyway, so that's brilliant.
The graphical illustrations at TEDx Copenhagen, I think, made it a lot more memorable for the audience, and we had lots of attendees coming up to us both during the event and after, saying that all the graphical illustrations simply just made it a lot more memorable and gave them a lot of things to talk about. And I think ultimately, after the event, it also means that they will remember all the points a lot better, and therefore they will probably take more action as well.
To give other people an idea of the entire TEDx Copenhagen day, we decided to try to make a short video that condensed could give people the sense of what happened and what were the great key nuggets from all of the great speakers.
Signe Bjørk Jensen warns, watch out for the scouts. It's about turning kids into awesome adults.
Basically, we combine drawings, text, speak, and videos to document what really happened, to get the sense of authenticity. But the drawings really pointed towards the ideas, illustrations of the ideas presented. And all these components will all together, hopefully, be a very strong, vivid representation of the entire day.
Adding all these visual elements to a conference like TEDx, the visual event summary, the agenda, the slips where you engage, a talk about how to visualize, and finally the movie. It's full-scale visualization added to a gathering where 650 great people get speaks or talks by 20 so great presenters. It creates engagement. It's not only one way. People are involved in sharing their ideas and adding them. There's something about the technology where when you jump out and you take a pen in your hand and paper, it becomes very analog. And there's something very refreshing about drawing together and being analog rather than all the digital.